ulikuwa mbali sana na mashiko.
Gentlemen of the press, we have just filed our defamation suit against One Toto in the defamation suit utterances, defamatory utterances that were uttered by the said Toto back in Kakamega. Now, we, preceding filing of this suit today, we had issued a demand and notice of intention to sue, but then One Toto refused to apologize and make good the demand that we made. It's on account of that that we have now moved to court. The suit has been filed. All we expect is that we have instituted a gigantic defamatory president-making suit, which is going to be a point of reference going into the future on the issue of people uttering things they can't account for. As you all know from what has been happening from the past, One Toto has uttered unprintable words against our client. That's one Honorable Senator Bony. And as you know, he has refused to apologize and has actually aggravated the same by making further defamatory statements. It's on that account that we now want to face him through the courts so that his actions and his utterances are going to be put to book so that he can pay the huge damages and other consequences that will follow therefrom. You'll know that our client is a distinguished leader in this country. He's a husband, he's a professional, he's a father. All these have been dealt with in the defamatory suit that we have filed in court, which we are going to avail to the members of the press shortly.
My name is Magdalene Wanjiko. I am part of the legal team that is representing Dr. Bony Khalwale. Dr. Bony Khalwale is a man of great stature. He's a respected leader of more than 20 years. He is a father. He is a leader who's been entrusted by the people of the great county of Kakamega. And the remarks by one Mr. Shimanyalu Toto are not only defamatory, but go against the laws of privacy and the data protection laws that we have in this country. It is absurd and it is preposterous for him to be making remarks that are unsubstantiated. And so today we have brought this claim because we say that you cannot go laying claims that you cannot support. To frame our great leader as a murderer, to frame him as other things that we cannot even be stating here is absurd. And so we are saying that, Mr. Toto, you have to apologize, and not only that, you have to pay for the great emotional distress that you have caused our client, that you have caused his children, and that you have caused his family. Thank you.
Members of the fourth estate, my name is Shadrach Wamboi. I'm equally counsel in the team that is being led by Mr. Danstan Omari, who are fighting for the rights of our client, Honorable Dr. Bony Khalwale. As you'll recall, on the 7th day of February 2024, we came before you after serving Mr. Cleophas Shimanyula, aka Toto, with a demand letter where we put it to him that unless he apologized within 48 hours, we will take stern action by commencing a civil suit before the Honorable Court, in which we'll be demanding a sum total of 200 million shillings in form of compensation to our client, Dr. Bony Khalwale, the Honorable Senator of the people of Kakamega. Now, the events of the 7th day of February, as we captured in our demand letter, spoke to the events that happened on the 28th day of January 2024, where one of our client's employee, the late Kizito Amukhune Moi, died after, succumbing to very serious wounds and bleeding, caused by the wounds that he had sustained after he was hit, or rather was hit by a bull, which he was tendering to. That is in the name of Amasio. Now, following the death of Mr. Kizito Amukhune, there was a postmortem report that was conducted, a postmortem that was done and a report returned on 2 occasions. That is on the 29th day of January 2024 and on the 3rd day of February 2024. And of the 2 postmortem reports, they returned a verdict that indeed the death of the late Kizito Moi Amukhune was caused by excessive bleeding that was caused by injuries that he sustained after the bull attack. And that was the resolve made by 4 doctors. But despite this recommendation by 4 trained professionals, one Cleophas Shimanyula, aka Toto, has sustained these defamatory statements. He has persisted to say that the death of the late Amukhune Kizito Moi was caused by serious stab wounds that were sustained or caused by the Honorable Senator. Indeed, he continues to say that the late Amukhune died because of stab wounds that were caused by the late by the Honorable Senator after the Senator discovered that Mr. Amukhune was having an unholy relationship with his wife. He has also continued to add that indeed some of the children of the Honorable Senator are actually or were indeed sired through the efforts of Amukhune and the wife who is accused of being adulterous. So for those reasons, we have commenced a very serious suit before the High Court because we intend that this will not only be a lesson to Mr. Shimanyula, this will also be a lesson to so many individuals who continue to speak without, number one, substance, individuals who continue to speak without taking into account the dire consequences or the consequences that will result from their defamatory statements. You know for a fact that the Honorable Senator is a doctor by profession. You know for a fact that the Honorable Senator has served not only once, but on a number of occasions, the great people of Kakamega County. And he has served them with distinction. And it is for this reason that we are disturbed that an individual in the name of Toto has gone out there recklessly, spoken words at number one, he knows too well are false. Number two, he knows these words are likely to injure the reputation of the Honorable Senator. He knows too well that these words are going to injure the reputation of the wife of the Honorable Senator or the wives of the Honorable Senator. He knows too well that the children of the Honorable Senator, some of whom are lawyers in the pipeline, some of whom are advocates in the pipeline, their reputation is going to be injured. But he's gone ahead and thrown all these insults, knowing too well the kind of reputational harm that is going to cause to the family and the loved ones of the Honorable Senator. Lastly, as I close, we know too well that the Honorable Senator represents the totality of the will of the people of Kakamega County. That he does not stand here as an individual. He stands here in a representative capacity of the people of Kakamega County. And for that reason, the statements that were made and are continuing to be made by Mr. Toto, Shimanyula Cleophas, these are words that go to injure the hearts of the people of Kakamega County. And for that reason, we are hoping, number one, that we shall cause the immediate stop of those insults being made by Toto. Number two, we shall make him accountable for all the insults that he has continued to hurl against our clans, that is going to be accountable. And as we said the previous time, I'm going to echo it today, that we shall be pushing for a modest compensation to the Honorable Senator of a sum global total of 200 million shillings. With that, and without saying more, I'll pave the floor to, yes.
My name is Samuel Mohati, Principal Research Officer, Office of Majority Whip, Senate, Dr. Bony Khalwale. I want to speak on behalf of the office. We, as people who are very close to the Senator, feel that whatever happened, whatever statements have been made in the press regarding our Senator have been very defamatory statements. They are meant to hurt the image of the Senator. You know very well that our Senator is one of the best senators in this country, is one of the most respected senators in this country, is one of the sharpest senators in this country. And inside the Senate, he is a leader. So him being the leader of the Senate, people have a lot of trust in him, and that's why he was given that position. So it hurts us as part and parcel of his team to realize that somebody wakes up one day and make very unforgiving statements to defame his character. All along, Dr. Bony Khalwale has been elected severally to be a member of parliament. More than 249,000 Kenyans in Kakamega County had a lot of trust in Dr. Bony Khalwale. That's why they elected him as the senator of the county. So when you abuse Dr. Bony Khalwale, you are not abusing Dr. Bony Khalwale. You are abusing the 249,000 voters who voted for him. I, as a member and a voter in Kakamega County, felt so aggravated, felt so hurt, and we feel that let the law take its course. Somebody must carry this burden, and it has to be a lesson to all Kenyans that next time you want to play around with a leader's name, next time you want to play around with any other Kenyan name, you should be ready to defend yourself, lest the law takes its course. Thank you.
I'm the personal assistant to Senator Dr. Bony Khalwale, who is also the majority whip at the Senate. I stand here to sympathize with Dr. Bony Khalwale's children and wives. As we know, as we put it nowadays, that Mheshimiwa's family was just chilling, and then boom, someone just wakes up one day to offer some absurd statements, defamatory statements against his children and wives. These children, who are, some of them are my age mates, we went to school together, they're professionals in this country. They wake up every morning to go to work. You can imagine what goes through their minds when they wake up to face people as they go to work. Some children are minors. They do not understand what context is going on. As minors, when they interact with other children who have heard this story, when they mock them, when they make some mockery remarks about these children, you can imagine the mental health of these children, the mental status of these young minors. It is very sad for somebody of a mature age, like the man who just woke up, and to make such defamatory statements against children and against his wives. It is this is the time we women, as women in Kenya, we need to stand up and stamp our feet that people should not just wake up and use us as dusters to make their point across, or use us the way they want to use us. We women in Kenya, we should stand up, our affirmative action. We should stand up and defend ourselves. We should stand up and make our points heard without people dragging us in such a mess or using us as their stepping stone for various positions or various ideas they want to pass across. So today, as a member of and a voter of Kakamega County, I'm so saddened and feel very bad on behalf of Mheshimiwa's children and wives. And I pray that in future, such things should not happen to any other person who has worked hard to maintain his image, who has worked hard to attain what Mheshimiwa has attained. And somebody wakes up and thinks that he can use such to bring him down. We've known that in this world, men, strong men have been used. Such things have been used to bring them down. But we thank God that Mheshimiwa is a strong man, a man of big will, a man of faith, that he wakes up to defend his people who elected him and to defend his family. So today, we begin this process, and we are behind him, and we are rallying behind him to see that he gets the justice that he deserves. Thank you.
Three things. We gave a threat, and Toto said those are no more threats of politicians. He thought Dr. Bony Khalwale is among those guys who do demands and don't implement. We have filed, so we have lived to the expectation of what Bony Khalwale is. Number two, why did we file at the High Court? The amount of money Dr. Bony Khalwale is seeking, 200 million, the jurisdiction of a magistrate's court ends at 20 million. So that is why we have come to the High Court to file that matter there. Third, I will not belabor more on what the content, that the words that were spoken are unpalatable. They are words not used in a civilized, democratic republic like Kenya. They are words that are obscene. They are words that are demeaning. They are words that are aimed at the heart of the career of Dr. Khalwale as a medical doctor, as a political person, and as a family person. Pursuant to the last arm that I've put to the country, today, the wives of Senator Khalwale, four on one day, I have been instructed to issue a demand letter on behalf of the four surviving wives, three surviving. I am also been instructed to also issue a demand on behalf of the children who are said to be children who are bastards born out of marriage. We shall, by close of business, serve the pleadings that we have filed, and in totality, the amount have been instructed to sue for the four wives. Each, I'll be going for 200 million. For each wife, I'll be suing for 200 million. For the one disparaged who is deceased, her children, we will have a global figure of all the Khalwale children who are how many? 17. We shall be going for a global figure for all those 17 children, because they are minors, a modest 500 million. In total, you can see that is, I'm going for 1.3 billion after Khalwale. In total, that is 1.5 billion. To serve him as a lesson and to serve anybody that we do not disparage politicians and even go further to interfere with their families. So, we shall be serving members of the fourth estate the demand letters, and after 48 hours, we shall be filing those substantive suits to teach Toto lessons that it does not pay to chest thump. It does not pay to call Senator a murderer. That is a preserve of the courts. It does not say that Toto has done any DNA testing to prove that the children of Senator don't belong to Senator. Thank you.